How to make dynamic web app with GitHub Pages and Python with GitHub API. So you want to know how to make GitHub Pages dynamic? I'm not good at explaining things. Oh my god, let's try. Let me read first. Oh, GitHub API, Python, web scraping. Looks like the worst nightmare. Okay, let's have a look. Look there, that's GitHub. Why are you looking at me? Look there. And that's used to store your code files on the cloud. On the cloud. Not this one, but this one. Now let's talk about API. APIs. Blah blah blah. Now I know everything about APIs. APIs are a way to get data from your site through code. Look at the code that we have wrote in the previous video. So now this code will give you the list of all the repositories. Looks nice. Now try if you haven't. There was a simple example. Now look at the giant code. Please don't ask me to explain it. It's terrible. But now you can comment below and maybe someone will explain you. Leave it. Let's make the COVID-19 scrapper app using GitHub API, GitHub Pages, Python 3, and guess what? Web scraping. Again, a lot to handle. So we're gonna change the content of GitHub Pages after every 4 hours, and for the web scraping, we're gonna use request HTML. It looks scary, but in reality, it's just a piece of cake. At least better than Beautiful Soup 4. So let's jump to the video. So currently we are on the documentation of request HTML, where you can find all the necessary details regarding installation and the use. Now it's pretty good to read it. It also supports JavaScript and the asynchronous web requests. So we are going to use worldometer/coronavirus to scrap the number of cases and deaths and the recovered person. So here you can see the deaths and the recovered. So now let's open your Windows terminal and now head over to your desktop from current location just by typing cd desktop. Now once you are inside the desktop, we are going to open the COVID-19 scrapper folder that I have created so far using Visual Studio Code. By typing this command, you will open the VS Code instance to the current folder. Now we have created a file called main.py. So let's open the terminal as well. So now on the top line, I'm gonna type a special command, that's pound, then exclamation mark, and then slash, then user usr/bin/python3. So now it's a Linux based command. Now if you want to know more about this command, just keep a comment below and I will explain it to you in the next video. So let's start with importing the request underscore HTML module, and from that particular module we are going to import HTML session. And now let's make the session object by typing session is equals to HTML session. And now let's send a GET request to a particular URL of Worldometer site. So this can be done using data is equals to session.get, and inside this we need to type the URL. So we are going to first try the code with the total number of cases. So we are going to make a variable total cases, and it's going to equal to data.find data.html.find. Now this method is used to get a particular HTML tag. In our case we are going to find the tag which contains the total cases. Now here the attribute first is equals to true actually indicates that we only need the very first tag with the particular sequence. So now let's head over to your inspect element and check the element or the tag of this particular total cases. Right, so now you find that it's actually inside a span, which is further inside a division of a particular class name. So we are going to use this particular division, its class name, to get the tag which contains total number of coronavirus cases. So now we are going to use the div, and inside the square bracket we are going to I give the class of that division, and then space and then span. Now we are going to print the total cases by using total underscore cases variable dot text. Now once you write it, let's try to run it. So now as you can see, it start running. It can take a while depending upon your internet speed and other criteria. So now as you can see, it returned a string which contains total and the total number of active cases, 4, 9 to 7, 5 to 3, as you can see. So now let's remove first equals to true, and let's iterate the total cases and let's see what we are getting. So let's head over to the iteration. Now you will find it is actually returning three values. The first one is actually the total number of cases, then the death, and then recovered. Now the results are varying because the website is updating continuously, and I am realizing it after the voiceover. So let's make three variables. Total equals to cases 0, which signifies the total number of cases, and similarly death and recovered as cases 1 and 2. Now let's print these three variables, total comma death and the recovered. So let's run the code. Now you will find that it is actually returning the element object instead of the text. So we're gonna add dot text after the cases, and you will then find the appropriate results. So as you can see, we are getting exactly what we want. So now let's remove the print statement and let's make a variable that we're gonna call it template. But before that, let's import the GitHub module from GitHub. And now let's make the template variable, which is actually going to store our HTML template that we are going to change in the GitHub pages. So it's going to be super simple, like super simple. In the first line we're going to have a h1 tag which actually signifies the total number of cases. So here we are going to use the dot format method of strings to give the total cases and deaths and the recovered. So now let's make the third line. It's going to be recovered, and let's say in the curly braces too. So now let's give a heading, and we're gonna name it as COVID-19 scrapper. And now at the end, let's give a link to so that anybody can mail the admin. So just by using this AH reference tag. So here we go. So now use the dot format method and provide the three variables, total, death and recovered, so that template can add these three variables to their appropriate location and print the template variable. Let's see if it is working, that is giving us the appropriate result or not. So let's run the code, and now it's working pretty impressive. So now let's talk about the API part. So let's add a comment. Let's work on the part that is GitHub API, right? So now it is going to start with importing the pickle module that we are going to use in order to read the credentials of mine, that is username and password, from a file called credentials.cred that I have created in order to store my credentials so that it won't be appear on the screen. Right, so once you have imported the pickle module, so now everything starts with making the GitHub object just by typing git is equals to GitHub, providing the username and password. And now in order to get that, we need to open the file credentials.cred in read binary format. So with the help of with statement, we're going to type with open, and inside this we're going to pass two parameters. The first one is going to be the name of file, the next one is to be the mode of file. In our case it's going to be read binary format. So now first of all we're going to get all the data by the with the help of pickle.load method and provided the file parameter. Now once you got the data parameter, you can easily read username and password out of it. So data here represents a dictionary having two username and password. So let's just quickly get the value of username from the key username and the value of password from the key password, right? So once you got this, now let's provide it inside the GitHub username and password. So now it's done. Let's make the user object by typing user is equals to get underscore user, and you don't need to pass any parameters in it. So now let's make a repository that is going to store our static file, right? So let's name it COVID and add a description to be a web scraper application in Python, right? Let's create it. So now let's click on the create new file and let's make a file called index.html. Now let's write a simple HTML code, a heading that signifies the COVID-19 scraper, but in future we are going to change it or like replace it with the template parameter once you create it. Now let's go to the settings section, then go to the GitHub pages and select the master branch, and now you will find this URL. Now paste it on the browser window and then slash index.html, and you will find that static file that we have uploaded to GitHub, right? So now let's head over to the coding portion again. Okay, let me resize it a bit, and then let's start with the documentation of like updating a new file, right? So for updating here you can find that we actually need to make first repository object, then the content object which represent the content of a file, and then we need to use repo.update underscore file method to update a file, right? So let me make the repository object quickly. So repo is equals to user.get repo and provided the name of the repository, that is COVID in our case. Now let's make the content object as well. That is going to be have one parameter, one major parameter, right? So repo.get contents and providing the name of the file, it's index.html in our case. Once you have done this, now let's use the repo.update underscore file method to update the content, right? So now let's head over to documentation once again and let's see how many parameters it's actually taking. So the first one is actually the path, then comes two string parameters, then comes the SHA key, which is actually generated by the content object. So just pass the content.path, and then the second parameter is message. So instead of typing template, I think I should use like updated. So let me just change it. Instead of template, just type updated, right? And then the fourth parameter is going to be the SHA key, so that's going to be content.sha. Then fourth parameter is going to be branch, and in our case it is going to be master branch, right? So now once you have updated, that's it. Now let's try to run the code. So now the code is running, it can take a while. Alright, so it has been executed fully. So the thing is, it can take a while to update the file content. So let's wait for a while, and now you can see the content has been updated with our template variable, right? So let's make another file that is going to execute this particular file after every 4 hours. So let's just name it as runtime.py. So start with importing the time that we are going to use, so in order to wait for 4 hours. So let me quickly bind the whole code in a function. So let's just add a tab and then define the function as update cases, right? So now let's call the function. So first of all, let's import the function inside the runtime.py from main import update cases, just like that. Now while true, that means it is going to execute forever, right? There is no exit statement. Now just update the case and we are going to wait for 4 hours. So just time.sleep and then provide the 4 asterisk 60 and then asterisk 60. That means 4 into 3600 seconds, right? That means 4 hours. So you have watched the video. Great work. But I need something from you. Look there. I want you to hit that subscribe button for more such videos. And bye. Cause I need to go to work. Bye.